From receiver's point of view, I also, there are moments that I question, is it coming from the light side or is it coming from the dark side? So um, as much as channelers, they have to learn, I think from receiver's point of view, we need to also develop that level of discernment. Hmm.
Completely.
I think you're missing something there. What I'm receiving right now is once you have that confidence, anything is energy, whether it's one side or the other. But it's up to you switch. It's like a button, like Laura was saying, you tune. You are in control because you are here. You don't have a physical body anymore, and you are the conductor. So you are the channeler, or whatever you want to call it. They don't have to embody anything. You have to be grounded and have the power to say, I'm in control. You just hold on. And then, but this comes with time. It's not something like you said, it's not something you just one day wake up with a gift and you just, oh my God, I'm blessed and jumping, and it comes in waves until you actually understand it yourself. And there's no amounts of books, no amounts of anything until you actually say, I'm this, I do that. And they are just energy. And you have the power. And this is what I think is important for someone that is awakening, that they don't realize how important it is to hold their power.
I completely agree, Catia, and I feel like the guys want to come through. I feel like they're here, but I feel like before they come through, it's also about me hoping being able to hold these conversations as well, rather than it just being around me channeling. Because I recognise, this is something else interesting for you know, is I recognise as I'm talking to you now, I'm actually channeling. I'm actually bringing through information that's not being scripted. It's not information that, you know, I've sat there for hours trying to decide what I'm going to say. You know, this is an energy that I'm feeling that's coming through. So when I class myself as being a multi-channel, I mean that in every sense. I understand that now I'm able to talk and hold conversations and bring through information and memories about stuff without actually having to sit there and go, oh, let me ever think about that. You know, stuff just naturally starts to flow through.
Yeah. And that happens to Laura, it happens to me, my friend. You know, once you open the channel, you can't close it. It's up to you just to switch, you know, to tune the button. But you're constantly doing it. And it's up to you also to ground yourself, take time to rest, which is very important because we're still in a 3D body doing this. And we often think, oh, we can go on, but we can't. This is reality. It's quite draining at times. And if we keep going and don't take a break, we can break ourselves, our body, physically. I'm not saying the mental so much because I think we can go in waves. You know, there are moments, but the body feels it. And this is the reality. There are days I'm exhausted because, you know, they keep coming. We're just like a vehicle. And it's up to us to attune it to our own time. No one else.
Yeah. I have a question to Catia regarding to what Bex said. She's a conscious channeler. Yeah. That means her ego is there as a filter.
She's different.
Yes. So what's your, how do you do that in the same way, or how do you see yourself?
But I choose not to, because I don't have a life after all. If I do what Bex do, I will not be myself. You know that, and you will not like me. Because the person I channel is very arrogant, and I choose not to be like that. That's the difference. I have a heart in the conscious, and I will uphold my values, and I'll say no to the other side when I have to, and to this side. So I'm in between all the time. I do not do it consciously. But if I do it, it's probably if I had a drink and my ego is going down and it comes up. It's just funny to watch. But it's also very funny. He is very sarcastic, very, very funny. But he has a personality, per se. And I have my own. I developed this personality for many, many years. I don't want to lose it. Though they say I'm integrating now. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's a kind of repeated theme, isn't it, Catia? When you have a session, like now you two are integrating. It's harder to tell which one is which. So in that sense, can I understand that, Catia, in your case, when you channel, you kind of let go of your thought,
like
perhaps more than what Bex does, but you would like to.
My ego is sitting here, and I let them just 100% channel, although I still hear consciously. When I'm present right now is my conscious and they are here. So we switch places. That's how we work. It's just like that. We're just now switching places all the time. That's why some messages that come through, I'll just blurt it out. I just don't hold it anymore, because if I hold it, and I, like Laura says, if I have to hold it and there's a very important message, I'll suffer consciously. I know that. Like, I keep pestering Viv at times. I know it consciously. I feel guilty. At the beginning, I felt very guilty by chasing you, but then they wouldn't let me alone. They don't leave me alone. And then until I say it, they don't leave me alone. And that's pestering. They can be pestering me too.
Yes. But I think at the same time, it makes me kind of give me a chance to get stronger, because I tended to kind of people please, you know. I think everything being peaceful is good, but sometimes you bring me strong emotions like, this is not what I want. This is not right. So I think it gives me also, opportunity to stand up on my own feet.
You'll learn from each other, all of us. It's not
Oh, Viv, you know when you stand your ground, it makes me so excited.
Me too.
Especially before the session
really
when we're
funny
talking. Yeah, it does. It makes me so excited. I'm like, go, Viv!
Yeah, because to be honest, you are, we all developing in our own pace, in our own way, because we all have something to learn. And this is what they keep repeating, I keep repeating. We are pushing the boundaries to others and ourselves. So we are mirrors. Whatever you have that I don't have, I'll learn. And it's up to me to learn, obviously. And whatever you don't have that I have, you learn. It's just the way it is in any circumstance. I now call it crazy, but I see it like this all the time right now. I don't live in this world anymore.
I agree with you. It's not just you. I think all the people who are coming into our life, even at work, they bring some energy or a lesson that we need to learn from their personality or from the situation they create with me.
But the funny part is we all agreed to do this. Don't forget that. We might not remember it.
That's the crazy part.
We all agreed to do this, including this we're doing now. Bex, what do you want to say?
Just going back to your what you mentioned about people coming into your life and that, you know, we learn from people. I think that's really important. I think it's really important point to make. But I think it's really also important to kind of help people's awareness around the reasons why we're learning from these people at the same time. You know, it's not just a case of, oh, I met this boyfriend and we had a really bad experience and then, I'm learning from it though. You know, I'm not going to go back there again. But why is it we're learning from these people? And it's about the purpose of Ascension, isn't it? It's about the purpose of us growing, the purpose of us actually be able to develop in this lifetime. And I think this is one, this takes me to the question about, that you brought up, Catia, about, why is it taking so long for people to meet people in this lifetime? Yeah. And, and this is a question for me as well. I've been through some, traumatic situations in relationships, and I'm at a point in my life now where I'm single. I'm choosing at the moment to kind of be in and out of looking and not looking, and in looking, not looking, and it's like, well, I recognize at the moment I've got this work to do. I recognize that this process of becoming the Ascension Channel is where I am in this lifetime at the moment. And it's, I suppose, when we start recognizing it back to where we are, and the fact that the guides want to come through because they're knocking on the door.
Let them in.
Yeah, they're like,
yeah, it's like what happens is I'm talking, and then I'll recognize that an energy is coming through, and I'll probably how I'm talking probably starts to go a bit because it's that. We are here. Thank you, Rebecca. We are the Ascension Guides, and we are here to, if you like, take part in this podcast too. It's important to understand that the four of you have been brought together in this lifetime for a very, very specific purpose and a very important reason this evening. Not only are all of you going through your own ascension process, but you're now sat here as four ladies talking about your own experiences, or even comparing against these experiences, or just looking at each other's experiences in awe. Recognizing that all of you have been through such amazing processes to get to where you are this evening, to be able to talk and be able to communicate with each other in a process of talking about the ascension process, communicating and talking about the fact that you are channelers, communicating and talking about the fact that you have all worked with, if you like, darker energies, light energies, or energies in between. It is all a process. It is all part of the process of becoming the Ascension Channels for Rebecca. It is about becoming the Ascension Channels for you all individually in this lifetime. But what we are here to do tonight is talk about the reasons why you've all been brought through together this evening. Now, you all recognise that you've had, if you like, past lives together, future lifetimes together, and if you like, now you're having a current lifetime together. So when we talk about quantum healing, we're talking about the fact that you're here now having a quantum healing experience. You're all merging one together, integrating back together in this lifetime. Now, Rebecca calls these soul reunions where each of you have had lifetimes together. And that in this lifetime, you've decided to become, if you like, a reunion of souls, where you've said, okay, today, at this point in time and space, we're going to be coming back together. And when we come back together, we're going to be having a podcast. And in this podcast, Rebecca is going to be talking about her experience. Laura will be talking about hers. Catia will be talking about her experience. And Vivien will be talking about her experience, but in an indirect way. Because Vivien, if you like, has not necessarily had the experiences that Rebecca, Laura, and Catia have had, but Vivien has had her own experiences, which has brought her here this evening, brought her here. Okay, Rebecca is now recognizing that there is another energy that's coming through, another energy which is stopping Rebecca from being able to talk, if you like, from a communicating, from a higher self. Okay, so I'm recognizing there's a blockage here in my throat.
Okay.
I don't know if any of you are feeling anything, but there's a blockage here in my throat, like a very, very bad blockage. God. Okay, so thank you, Rebecca. So we are going to bring through a frequency. Now, what we'd like to do is bring through this frequency from a point of understanding. That this evening you have all come together to recognise that you are here to communicate together, to be together, to co-create together. But when you have been brought together, you have been brought together to recognise that you've had past life experiences, and that this experience is another soul contract, a soul contract where you have agreed to come back together. Now, as Rebecca is talking, as Rebecca is channeling, we are bringing through new frequencies, new activations of frequencies, which are here for all four of you. All four of you in this lifetime to be able to, if you like, co-create, where you're all now being taken through into your own next process, your next phase, your next stage of your ascension process. And as we're bringing through this frequency, this means that all of you are going to, if you like, take a new turn, take a new episode in your life. And this be coming into this podcast now. Sorry, I've just got somebody here. and it's just distracting me slightly. Just so you know, it's my son, and my son's never heard me channel.
I see.
So it's just causing a bit of, for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just bringing through something that's just being brought through for a reason. He was just coming down the stairs and he's never heard me channel. So for me, him to hear me do this is quite a big thing. Just going to unclose the door.
Yeah.
Bear with me a sec. Sorry, it's just I've not channeled before with my son being in the house, and what's happening is that my ego's taking over because I can hear I'm trying to channel and I can hear him coming up and down the stairs, and it's like
The new experience.
Yeah. So this was meant to happen this evening for him to have a bit of a experience of hearing me, and you guys were meant to be here to help me do that. You're holding the space for me.
I wonder how you managed it, Bex.
Without
Because you've been channeling for some time. Wow.
Well, it's weird you should ask that question, actually, because it seems to be that every time I've got things planned, he's never in the house. No, so yeah, he's 21, so he's not a child, he's not, so he can come and go as he pleases. So it's like he's just getting ready to go out now. So I knew he would. I wasn't 100% sure if he was going to be in the house tonight or not, but I can hear him coming up and down the stairs. So it's like, another big part of my process at the moment is that I'm like looking to come out the spiritual closet. So doing this channeling is a big thing, because a lot of 99.99% of people in my life who I've known for my whole life don't know anything about this. Yeah.
Same as
so
me.
it's still very. Is it the same as you, Laura? Yeah. So it's still very undercover, if you like, at the moment. So for me to kind of start doing these kind of events and channeling sessions, it's like, people that I'm doing it in front of, obviously people I've started to build connections with, and I'm still not quite ready yet to be starting to do it where I'm recording it on my own and putting it out there in the public. So that's why I recognise these sessions that I'm doing, like what we've had tonight, is part of my process for me to become what I'm meant to be doing. So it's
the same as me. It's a bit of a safety net, isn't it?
Yeah, completely. It's like when I'm doing it with people like this, it's like I'm talking to people at the same time. Whereas when I'm channeling or doing it to, recording it on my own, it just feels like it just feels weird. It just feels like
alone.
I don't know if I'm, I don't know. Yeah. So I suppose what the story here is that when we are trying to be, when we're trying to break out into doing this role and working with people doing it, it's a lot easier when we've got another energy there working with us to do it.
Yeah.
I have do you get me? And I have a sense, and the sense of energy that I'm getting another energy that's coming through as well, just so you know. And what I sense that energy to be is almost like, are you sensing a person or are you sensing an energy, Catia? Because to me,
I don't know who it is. Usually I use Laura to guide me, but she doesn't sense. It's not from in limbo. I think it's my side on the other side.
Okay, so what I sense it to be, I can tell you what I sense it to be, because I can sense something here. I sense it to be an understanding between us as four souls, that the soul contract that we've had is now ready to be resolved and dissolved. So what that...
I have this feeling we've been in a lifetime, they keep saying, as witches, or that time where any awakening, we would be prosecuted. The truth, whatever we were, we couldn't speak.
Yeah.
So we were prosecuted. So this here usually is blocked because we are afraid and we can be prosecuted, but we haven't evolved in time. So there's a blockage still, like you're saying, unresolved. So maybe
Yeah.
we come together to resolve it finally, and then you can progress better.
Yeah, I think it's the beginning of the evolution. I think this first podcast is to kind of pacify all of us in saying that it's okay. And it's supposed to be happening, and to let go and start speaking. Because even before this podcast, when I first found out about it, I was like, oh no, I can't do it because I wasn't ready to speak. But then today, about maybe half an hour beforehand, today I felt okay and I was open to it. But then half an hour before this started, I just got a surge of excitement. And I was like, oh, this is exciting. And now actually being in it, I'm really enjoying it.
That's good.
Ah,
Yeah.
so,
I've seen
and do you know what's really interesting for me is that, you know, back in the day, you know, I've done a lot of kind of roles in my work career where I've done a lot of presenting and stuff like that. But I'd always be very nervous beforehand. I'd have like the flutters, the anxiety. I'd be like, oh, and now I just don't get that. Even though I have an understanding that I'm going to be channeling and that I'm going to be, you know, talking and doing these things. The process I've gone through to get to where I am now has just almost relieved that anxiety of anything like this, which is amazing. You know, that's a massive transformation, a massive
You know
transformation.
that happens when you're in the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're doing your
exactly.
purpose. When you're
Yeah.
not doing
Exactly.
it, you feel blocked all the time.
Yeah.
So you're
And
not caring about anything anymore, whatever other people might say.
yeah.
If they
Well,
want to watch it, they watch it. As long as you
but that's
tell
not.
the truth.
Yeah, but that's not quite true for me at the moment, Catia. I'm still
Yeah,
very
but you're in
nervous
the process.
about certain. I mean, the process of it definitely, but there's a select people in my lifetime that when they find out about what I'm doing, it absolutely terrifies me. And I'm not going to lie, absolutely terrifies me. And that's where I'm at the moment. So when you were asking the questions, Catia, about what's my new role and am I going to develop a mediumship soon, you know, all that is very relevant to me at this point because I recognise I'm going through this process of stepping out of the spiritual closet. And, you know, it's like in this last 24 hours, even there's been stuff that's happened that's been relative to that question. And, you know, us having this, I call it a quantum healing session. I call this is us having a quantum healing session tonight, you know, whether we realise it or not. The guys want to come back through again in a moment. I can feel them now. It's because Bradley's coming back downstairs. I'm just going to bring him through. The problem is, well, let me explain what's happening. Is my dog wants to come into this room.
What do you mean?
But when the dog comes in, it then means the door's going to be open so my son can hear me. If the door's closed, then in my head he can't hear me.
Maybe he needs to hear you, Bex.
I think you're okay.
Maybe he needs to hear you.
Yeah, you're right, Laura. You're right, Laura. You are right. He does need to hear it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let the dog in, and then
Yeah.
I'm just going. I think he might be leaving.
Oh.